What a contrast between these two managers. Big John Bond, the amiable extrovert, who's shown a Midas touch in the last 7 months. And nearer the camera, Keith Birkinshaw, a pipe-smoking Yorkshireman, bred on a sound Barnsley diet of common sense and high integrity. But they share one thing in common, that's for sure. They're both excellent coaches. And what many people don't appreciate is that the players coming out behind them have all benefited in one way or another from the influence on the training ground of the two men at the front and their coaching staff. An awful lot of blue and white around today, simply because the normal colours of these two teams, and indeed the colours they'll be playing in this afternoon, include a different shade of blue. The sky blue worn by Manchester City, and the dark blue shorts worn by their opponents today, Tottenham Hotspur. But all eyes now on the players in the 100th FA Cup final, and on nobody more so than Ossie Ardiles. The scene that he's relished, and now he's part of it, having played in the World Cup final of '78. He now plays in the English FA Cup final 3 years later, with his compatriot Ricky Villa, who twice has had injuries sustained in FA Cup ties that have kept him out of the game for 3 months, but suddenly came back and came good in the semi-final against Wolves. The oldest player on the field at 33, Tommy Hutchison, the man who's dribbling on the right-hand side of the field, some experts believe could be a significant factor in the match. Let's check on the two teams now. For Manchester City, Ray Ranson held off the challenge of Tony Henry at number 2, and Caton was preferred to the more experienced Tommy Booth at number 6. Indeed, the two centre-backs, Reid and Caton, are believed to be the youngest pairing ever in an FA Cup final. Up front, David Bennett and Kevin Reeves. Unlucky Phil Boyer, injured earlier in the cup run, has to sit this one out. As an international set Spurs are, some of the relatives in the stand make this look like the League of Nations. We've got the two Argentines, of course, at numbers 6 and 7, but goalkeeper Alexic has a Yugoslav father. Chris Houghton at number 2, his father's from Guyana. The number 11, Garth Crooks, has West Indian parents. And just for good measure, the number 9, Tony Galvin, speaks Russian. On the far side of Her Majesty, Peter Swales, the chairman of Manchester City, an FA councillor. And he should be, in the nicest possible sense of the word, replaced at half-time by the Tottenham chairman, Arthur Richardson, who's sitting, in fact, in the front there, talking to the Duchess of Kent. Arthur Richardson, a director at White Hart Lane for over 20 years, who's supervised the building of the new stand there since he succeeded Sidney Wale in the chair. The referee, Keith Hackett, only 36, and only on the Football League list for 5 years. What a rapid rise for him. Ardiles immediately leaving that for Miller. On the left, Tony Galvin, number 9, challenged by Ranson. Houghton's header. This side of the pitch is going to be most interesting, with Tommy Hutchison playing on the right for Manchester City and Tony Galvin wide on the left for Spurs. That was Glenn Hoddle, but this is Gow. McDonald straight to Hoddle. That was Power. The header was by Graham Roberts, and here's Perryman. Getting back there was Mackenzie. Bennett. Reeves. Gow. Roberts. One for Galvin to compete for. Ranson won it. Don't be surprised by the gap in Ranson's mouth. He's had his gum stitched this week. Archibald. Lays it back for Hoddle to shoot. And he's already scored twice at Wembley for England. Ardiles offside against Archibald. Spurs' most expensive player, but he's replayed them this season with 25 goals. Miller with Reeves. Here's Gow. McDonald, Reeves. McDonald still well forward, number 3. Hoddle trying to play his way out of trouble, but not succeeding. McDonald again. Hoddle in the way once more. McDonald. Ardiles to Hoddle. And the long ball searches out Archibald. Another fine pass from Glenn Hoddle. Crooks has gone into the inside left position to let Archibald go right. Villiers. He was a bit tentative and he lost the ball. And Power trying to find Bennett, but Roberts was in the way, and here's Houghton. Hutchison. Gow. This is Caton. And now Hoddle. Referee played a good advantage there. Spurs had the ball. That's a free kick though. Ray Ranson a little over-enthusiastic. Referee wanting to let the game flow. The first time he allowed Spurs to continue, but the rhythm of the attack broken up by the foul. Ardiles short to Perryman. In comes Graham Roberts at the back, and Corrigan held on when just for a split second Roberts' header looked as though it might go underneath the goalkeeper, who may be hurt. Steve Perryman swung that ball across for Graham Roberts' header, and Corrigan clung onto it well with Crooks in attendance. Archibald, but Mackenzie for City now. That's a foul. Perryman coming in behind his man. This is Power. He's got Bennett in the centre. There's Bennett. Can he turn it? Oh, it hit Roberts. Graham Roberts involved in both penalty areas. David Bennett, the man who could so easily have scored. Paul Power made it possible with the run. He checked twice, got the ball in with his left foot. Bennett span, the shot hit Roberts. Power on, McDonald nearly scored. And there's a player that Tottenham must watch on set pieces. Bobby McDonald, who comes in from the back on corners. The flick on here, as you can see, is by Paul Power, and look how close McDonald was. It just wanted a touch, although Houghton was on the line. McDonald scored twice against Everton in the 6th round replay. Hoddle for Tottenham. Archibald, challenged by Caton. It came to Ardiles. Looking for Galvin. Houghton, that's good play. Galvin. Archibald is far post. Crooks further in. It's Galvin! And Corrigan saved it! Tony Galvin had a shot there that was going in the far corner, and Joe Corrigan got a hand to it. The two strikers took the other players away. Galvin's left foot and a very good reflex save. Low down. Well, Caton got the wrong side of Crooks, and Crooks thought he was fouled there. But Joe Corrigan now has made 2 important saves, and that one he'll be particularly pleased with. They're always difficult when they're low down, close to a goalkeeper like that, from close range. It's a good stop. Roberts. McDonald. Steve McKenzie's begun a run across to the left, and Power will look for him, number 9, McKenzie. Played again for Power. Defender covering was Houghton, and the linesman must feel there that Houghton was fouled. The referee will apply an advantage and let Tottenham continue. Flag was up, though. As the match goes on, one feels that the first goal becomes more and more important, because in 7 of the last 13 finals, 1 goal has been enough. Indeed, 15 of the last 17 have been settled by an odd goal. Archibald to Crooks. Ardiles away from McKenzie nicely. Gow is back there, Ardiles cross. Ray Ranson heading out. Hutchison doing enough to confuse Villiers and getting it back from Power. Bennett. And Bennett battling away well there for City. Very persistent. He's coming through again. He's got Reeves in support here. Here's Ranson. Oh, and a flying header and a brilliant goal. Tommy Hutchison on the ground. And would you believe it? A fantastic header by the oldest man playing in the final. Kevin Reeves turned, floated the ball in. Ranson put it forward and Hutchison came through and scored. Crossed by Ranson and headed beyond Alexic's despairing dive. Half an hour gone. Well, at 33, he makes his mark in a Wembley final with a most unusual goal for him, because how often does Tommy Hutchison head the ball? The same question was asked last year of Trevor Brooking, and a similar thing has happened, and they both wore number 10. City take the lead, and Tottenham now have got to get themselves sorted out. Well, he'll remember that moment for the rest of his life. It was a brilliant header to come through in that position and beat the goalkeeper with power and accuracy. John Bond put his faith in Tommy Hutchison last November when he signed him from Coventry. They called it a bargain buy at the time, and my word, it has been. Hoddle. Here's McKenzie. And now it's Ranson, the man who supplied the cross for the goal. It was good support play by Ray Ranson, and it bears out what John Bond said when he first took over at Main Road. He said that he thought the tactics were too complicated and that the players had got to get the ball into the penalty area sooner. That's exactly what Ranson did, and that's how they scored. Simplicity being the keynote, as it so often is in football, even at top level. Ranson again. Gow. Power. McKenzie, City playing with a swaggering confidence at the moment. McDonald. Bennett, challenged by Roberts, foul. Roberts reacting slightly as Bennett backed into him. And Tottenham have got to collect their call here. This is Reeves onside. Side netting. My impression is that Spurs, as you can see from the arguments there of Graham Roberts and Steve Perryman, are completely at sea in defence just for this period of the match. The goal has shaken them, and they allowed Reeves untold room there from the free kick. The marking was non-existent. And the lucky end, where the City supporters are gathered, is a mass of sky blue. Ardiles, Hoddle, Villiers still well forward. Here's Crooks. Crooks is on a run here. Joe Corrigan did brilliantly. Mistake by Nicky Reed initially, who's on the ball now. The third time Corrigan has saved City. That was quick, brave goalkeeping. He saw the danger when Reed's back pass fell short, and as he rings his right hand, he came to meet Garth Crooks and beat him. And Crooks is one of the quickest things around. Mackenzie for City. This is Perryman to Villiers. Power. Villiers again. And a Hoddle away from the flying tackle of Hutchison, and he's going to get Galvin in. Brought down was he by Ransom. The referee is looking, Galvin's appealing, and the referee has pointed the other way and given a handball in the end against Tony Galvin. It was another spectacular crossfield pass by Glenn Hoddle, who measured it once more. Ransom looked beaten, but I think Galvin just caught Ransom's foot rather. It didn't look like a clear-cut penalty to me. Even though the Spurs fans are whistling and Galvin appealed, it would have been very, very harsh on City. Villiers. Good challenging by Ray Ransom, having a good first half. Touched the ball in for Bennett. Oof. Robert slipped it first and then recovered and found Hoddle, and now Crooks has come off. But couldn't control the ball with his first touch, and that's Reed. Reeves is closing in here for City. And Alexic seemed to go a shade late, and Reeves collided with him. And he's on his back still as Tottenham come onto the attack. Hutchison, Reed. This is Ransom. And Roberts is so brave, and he got it right in the face, and I think it was from his own player, Chris Hughton. And my impression there was that Hughton, his own player, caught him full in the face and laid him out. They both came across for the same ball here. There's Hughton's left. Yes, it is. It's left foot of Chris Hughton, buried in the face of Graham Roberts. No wonder Hughton looks so concerned. And a worried Keith Birkinshaw. His side a goal down, their rhythm interrupted from the start. Meantime, the earlier injury to Kevin Reeves when he collided with Alexic has been dealt with, and he's back on his feet. We're already into time added on for stoppages in the first half, and the applause is for Graham Roberts. The referee will have a considerable amount of injury time to add on. This is Hutchison. And this is Crooks. Now it's Bennett. Reeves pulling away to the left. Bennett's made his way into the penalty area, joined by Mackenzie. Backing up his power, this is still Reeves. And now it's Hoddle for Tottenham. Good ball, Crooks. Galvin had that save from his shot by Corrigan, which was a significant moment in this first half. Hughton. Ardiles, Villiers. And McDonald covers for Manchester City. The more you think about it, the more you realise how crucial those early saves could have been from the City goalkeeper. This is Hoddle. And a header out by Reid, only to Villa, and McDonald again. Intercepting very neatly indeed. Hoddle. Villa. Good cross, it's going to come to Galvin. Good turn by him, and off Hutchison for a corner. Ardiles. The ball is on to Houghton. The header out finds Hoddle. Back in for Archibald and Crooks to compete. Offside, Crooks. Offside. Chris Houghton in some space here. The ball was played in by Glenn Hoddle, but the linesman was flagging for offside. The player caught was Crooks, who went in there. Corrigan forced to make the save just in case. And what a good first half he's had. Made 3 telling saves, Joe Corrigan, at important times. And the referee blows for half-time. And once Corrigan had made those saves, Spurs' early rush was contained, and Tommy Hutchison, who looks up at the scoreboard and sees his name there as the scorer of the only goal of the first half. It came on the half hour, a flying header, one that'll be remembered a long time, one of those cup final goals that'll be replayed so often, from a cross by Ray Ranson, after good build-up, first by David Bennett and then by Kevin Reeves. Ranson, number 2, crossed it. Hutchison, number 10, put it in. And at half-time in the 100th cup final, it's Manchester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Birkinshaw, having given his half-time team talk, his substitute incidentally is Gary Brooke if he wants to change anything. So away we go, City now playing from the right, and Joe Corrigan in goal will have been congratulated, I'm sure, in the dressing room for those important saves. Reeves. Houghton. Perryman. Now that's good football. Crooks with Caton coming across. I was going to say coming across, he came right through Crooks. An impetuous challenge by young Tommy Caton. Garth Crooks was just ahead of the defence there. That's where his pace is vital. And look how Caton took him. Perhaps not as bad as it looked when you bear in mind how quickly Crooks moves and the fact that he just pushed the ball ahead of himself, which is maybe the allowance the referee made and didn't book Caton. Here comes Roberts. That was nicely headed out, though, by Kevin Reeves. Here's Houghton. City beginning to come out now. And one defender stayed back, and it's put them all onside. Crooks is in there and away by McDonald. And everybody moved out bar Nicky Reid. Archibald with McDonald. Here's Crooks. Crooks shot. 2 goals in the semi-final replay. Garth Crooks, 21 in all this season, and a right foot shot there to Joe Corrigan's left, just going away. Ardiles. Well, he got Pascal this time, and Hutchison, and he's found Crooks, and Ardiles is in here! Was blocked by Bobby McDonald. The Argentine went past 2 of them, but he couldn't beat the third. Very good covering by McDonald, the left back. After 2 City players had been beaten by the skill of Ardiles, McDonald was the man who went across and made a tremendous saving tackle on the Argentine and injured himself in the process. He got away from Gow. Hutchison played the 1-2 with Crooks. And there's McDonald going in now with all the other defenders spread-eagled. That tackle kept his side in the lead and deprived Ardiles of perhaps a memorable moment. I say perhaps because he would still have had to have beaten Corrigan, which today has so far proved impossible. But John Bond will know that his defence and midfield there, perhaps for the first time, was caught out. Once he got past Jerry Gow, City had problems. That's significant in a way. And Ardiles was able to play the 1-2, slide his way past another defender who was Reed, and then it was McDonald. So Galvin with the corner for Spurs. In comes Roberts. Ardiles couldn't make it, and Corrigan could. At the feet of Paul Miller, I think, the player who actually challenged him last. Well, big Joe Corrigan is showing all his experience and his expertise today. Bad header by Roberts, straight to McKenzie. Ray Ranson's up on the right wing. Powers the other way. Reeves. McKenzie. Reeves. McKenzie's in here. McKenzie's in. Oh, he couldn't control it when it mattered. It ran away from him onto the other side of the post and away. Steve McKenzie at 19 made that possible in the first place by playing it in with Reeves, got the return onside, got past Alexic and put it against the wrong side of the post. And Tottenham are going to make a substitution. And Ricky Villiers is going to be called off, I fancy. Gary Brook is certainly waiting. A free kick. Maybe this is the moment they want to do the exchange. There are 22 minutes left. Now that substitution, Ricky Villiers gone to the line. I should think they just made sure that Galvin was all right, but Villiers coming off, and disappointed he is too. The sad face of a man who's been withdrawn during an FA Cup final, and a man who began it with such high hopes, the Argentine Ricky Villiers, replaced by Gary Brook. Gary Brook, noted for his fierce shooting, just the sort of man, Keith Birkinshaw said yesterday, who might provide you with a goal out of nothing. I wonder. Archibald for Spurs. Gary Brook has gone in behind the strikers, and Ricky Villiers making his way sadly to the dressing rooms on the far side. On by Crooks, and here's Archibald. He's gone past Corrigan, he's got Brook in the middle. Can he turn it in? Brook again, and they had people all over the place on the line. Tremendous cover behind the goalkeeper, and Spurs saw the possibility there of the equaliser. At last they got past Corrigan, but look at the cover behind him. Gary Brook tries once, he's blocked by Caton. He tries again, and Joe Corrigan's back himself. Hoddle with the kick. Crooks at the far post, so was Roberts, who had the header. More goalkeeping to remember from Joe Corrigan. He was beaten the first time, but how fast he was to regain his ground. Graham Roberts still bleeding. He got that cut very early on. This is McKenzie. That's Roberts' tackle though. It's do or die now for Tottenham as Galvin gets the ball. Referee wants that throw retaken further back. Very heavy collisions Roberts was involved with in the first half. First with Bennett, then with his own player Houghton, and that's one of the cuts anyway that he's suffered. Archibald's header on. Glenn Hoddle is well forward here, and predictably Paul Power is well back. What a great ball by Power. Down the line for Kevin Reeves. And the tackle by Gary Brook. And just for the record, only once as a substitute scored in an FA Cup final. Eddie Kelly, 10 years ago for Arsenal against Liverpool. Spurs fans hoping it might happen again today. But for the moment, they're in their own half with Ardiles. Now Glenn Hoddle. Ardiles. Brook. Well, he got away from Hutchison and he found Galvin. Galvin's got Houghton coming up in support. Here's Brook, can he hit one from here? Crooks might. Hoddle. Perryman. Ardiles coming in, here's Crooks! Archibald! Oh! Again the bodies are back there, blocking the path to go. And the Spurs strikers, with 46 between them this season, just can't get through that wall of blue shirts. It's going to be Galvin with the corner. Archibald gets up, goal kick. Well, Archibald must be thinking now that twice Tottenham have made good shooting opportunities inside the penalty area, but the sheer volume of players between the ball and the goal line has counted in City's favour on both occasions. And the Spurs fans try to urge their side that little bit extra further forward with the famous Tottenham song. Ranson, offside against David Bennett. But what a good match he's had. Preferred to Dennis Stewart, and he's justified the selection. Gary Brook. Well, that's good play by Brook. Houghton. Ardiles is well forward here. So is Archibald. So is Crooks. Couldn't get past his man. Ardiles trying to make some space. It's been played square for Glenn Hoddle to chip it back in. This is Perryman. They've got so many players in there now. That's Huddle's cross. Ardiles up. It's going to come right out to Galvin, and now it's Archibald. And now it's Ardiles. And Corrigan goes down. Ardiles goes down. The danger appears to have passed, but here comes Spurs again. Archibald to Houghton. Ardiles turning it on now. Pulls it back again to Galvin. They just can't find room to get the cross in. They have now, and it's volleyed clear by Tommy Caton. Look at City now with 2 against 2. Hutchison plays the telling ball, and David Bennett against Gary Brook. And it's not over yet. Reeves is free. Still Reeves. Gow. Crooks gets back to challenge him. Referee says play on. Hutchison stamps in on Crooks. And the referee says let it go again. Ranson. Offside Bennett. Tremendous climax to this FA Cup final. As Spurs throw it all in at the other end. And City continue to resist. Ardiles. Handball, was it? Referee said no. Hutchison, nice ball. Reeves. Gow. The calming influence of these experienced players is important at this stage of the afternoon. This is Ardiles taking them on. Gow tries to get his tackle in, and he does right on the edge. And could we see a Glenn Hoddle special? Spurs love these free kicks. Archibald has just pushed power away very roughly and is being spoken to by the referee for that. But Glenn Hoddle is the player you'd back to create something from 20 yards out from a free kick. 10 minutes to go. Is he going to float it in for the strike force on the far post, or will he try and chip Corrigan from here? And that was Hoddle. Oh, Hutchison, it's in! Tommy Hutchison has scored at both ends, if you call it an own goal. Hoddle will get the congratulations from Tottenham, but it went in off Tommy Hutchison. Oh, how cruel cup finals can be. He was the hero in the first half, and he's the villain now. Glenn Hoddle chipped the ball. Tommy Hutchison, that's got to be an own goal. Corrigan had gone the other way. Incredible. And Glenn Hoddle, the free kick maestro, has done it again. The deflection off Hutchison, the score 1-1, but Glenn scored in the semi-final against Wolves from that exact position, and he's bent the ball against Hutchison, and Spurs are level. Well, the same penalty area, almost the same spot. Tommy Hutchison must be wondering quite what fate has done to him. Spurs on the attack again with Archibald. Hoddle. Oh, he's given it away to Hutchison. And he's taken on Chris Hughton. Tottenham, Ardiles. Now Galvin is wide on the left. He's got Garth Crooks in. Oh, blocked by McDonald, and the referee says nothing. Well, Garth Crooks will feel that he should have at least had an indirect free kick. McDonald seemed to come across his line of his path, but the referee was happy that McDonald wasn't guilty of impeding him intentionally. So, 6 minutes to go, 1-1. And the 100th Cup final seems to get better and better. Roberts for Tottenham. Payton. Goes Paul Power. Well, are we going to see extra time for the first time since 1971, when a northern team took the lead and a London club came back to win 2-1? That was the Arsenal-Liverpool final. There are 5 minutes to go here of normal time. It's 1-1 and it's Bennett for City. Now Ardiles. Gary Brook, who came on as the substitute. Crooks and Archibald both well forward. Here's Crooks. Nearly into Archibald. Ardiles trying to find Galvin. Hutchison is back. This is Paul Power. And that's a foul by Brook. Reeves again. McKenzie didn't quite get that volley to carry. There are 4 minutes to go. It's Glenn Hoddle for Spurs. And now it's Archibald. And now it's Brook. And there's space on the left and City are stretched. Galvin for Tottenham. Chris Hughton's coming up inside him. Goal kick. Well, the minute that free kick was awarded, the Spurs fans knew there was hope. Because if anybody can produce a goal from there, it has to be Glenn Hoddle. And the deflection was fortunate. It definitely was the deflection that beat Corrigan. But the goal counts. And Spurs look like forcing extra time at this moment, but it may not even go to that. Here's Hutchison. Oh, a touch there by McKenzie on the near post. And although the Wembley scoreboard, Hutchison who crossed the ball, although the Wembley scoreboard is currently giving the goal to Hoddle, if Tommy Hutchison actually gets credited with a goal at both ends, he won't be the first man in a cup final to do that. Bert Turner of Charlton in 1946 scored at both ends in the final against Derby County. Hughton for Tottenham. Oh, he's gone past Bennett nicely. Nicky Reed. Well, I must say Ardiles has had a much better second half than he had in the first half. That pass of his looking for Crooks was too long, and the referee will have seen that 90 minutes is up and will now decide how much time he's going to allow for stoppages. Manchester City had to play extra time in their first semi-final, so did Spurs. So extra time would be nothing new to them in this season's FA Cup competition. Reed. Ransom. And 90 minutes goes by, full of incident, but the score is 1-1. Tommy Hutchison involved in both the goals. Joe Corrigan, who kept his side in the match early on, but could do nothing about the deflected free kick. Ozzy Ardiles getting some massage there. Players will be worried about cramp. And from the players' tunnel, Ricky Villa wanders out again. Now only a spectator, but the 100,000 spectators here are looking forward to extra time. The score at the moment, 1-1. And here's Glenn Hoddle for Spurs. Ransom for City. Up goes Graham Roberts. Houghton. The last Wembley draw, by the way, after extra time, the only one in an FA Cup final, was in 1970 when Chelsea and Leeds drew here and had to replay at Old Trafford. If there was a replay this year, it would be back here at Wembley next Thursday evening. This is Steve Perryman. Header by McDonald. Crooks. Gary Brooke, he can hit one here! I remember the fourth round against Hull City when Tottenham were in a spot of trouble and Gary Brooke came on and his powerful shooting turned the match. Just got underneath that one, rather. Caton up, here's Hoddle. It was supposed to be the year of the cockerel, but it's been John Bond's year as well in a way, and the reason the teams are so evenly matched is that both sides have given full value for money in the 100th FA Cup final and continue to do so. It would be churlish to try and separate them, but the tackles are getting a little bit nasty now, and the referee has got a full-time job on retaining the control which we've all applauded. John Bond, thoughtful, masking his emotions. That was a bit risky, but it found Ardiles, who's showing signs of tiredness with his socks rolled right down. Tends to tire towards the end of a match normally, does the little Argentinian. Has often been substituted, but it was his compatriot Villa who was taken off today. On by Archibald. Handball by Garth Crooks, was it? Referee said play on. Here's Perryman. Long cross, Tony Galvin's coming in, there's Brooke, oh, it went behind Archibald. Hoddle. And City coming out, but it's Crooks, no, it won't run for Spurs. But there was a chance in there. Galvin headed the ball back, Gary Brooke perhaps had the cleanest chance, and it went behind Archibald. Well, Spurs have appeared to have the upper hand in this first period of extra time. But there's just no telling, the game can change so swiftly. I suppose psychologically, having come back when it looked as though it might be too late, Tottenham do have a mental advantage. I can see Tony Henry being warmed up by Manchester City. Here's Ranson. Power is well forward here, and Bennett goes in, and Alexic actually slipped coming off his line there. Ranson. Bennett. Chris Hughton is the defender. Referee says goal kick. So Tony Henry prepares. Very versatile player. He can come into 2 or 3 positions. Cramp the problem, I would think, for Chris Hughton on this sapping Wembley pitch. Ref, he says, give me some attention. Referee doesn't seem inclined to get the trainer on, so he's going to play on with one boot, is he? Anyway, it's all part of the 100th Cup final, and we get on with the game. Hutchison. Gow. This is the end of the first period of extra time we're coming to now, and the referee blows right on time. And as Chris Hughton gets attention for cramp, let's have a further word from Jimmy Hill.
I don't think I've known a Wembley final where you could say that so much energy was expended by every member of both sides. It really has been a fantastic match. There's John Bond talking to Tommy Hutchison. He's asking him, I think, whether he's okay, because a key move for City at the moment can be who they pull off. He's making the decision now. He just consulted with Tommy Hutchison, and now he's going to make the decision. Who is it going to be? I would take off David Bennett myself, because I think they're losing a little bit of fire up front. And good a game as he had at the start, I don't know quite. But anyway, Henry's coming in, and Tommy Hutchison, the man who probably has scored at both ends, basically now leaves the field. What a day for him.
We're back in the centre circle for the final act in this drama. I say final for today, but a Thursday replay is now looming as a strong possibility, with Spurs playing now from the right in the second period of extra time. Here's Garth Crooks. Archibald's closing in. It's Galvin. Foul by Ray Ranson. Free kick to Spurs. Hughton labouring on. Roberts comes in, and Corrigan makes it look very easy indeed. And what a match he's had, the big goalkeeper. And Ozzy Ardiles flickering in and out of the match, I think it's fair to say, but never truly dominating it. That was Graham Roberts. Perryman to Hoddle. And this is Bobby McDonnell. For City, looking for Paul Power, it's too long. And Glenn Hoddle down with cramp. And this is an anxious moment for Spurs. They're at the moment playing with only 10 fit men. And Hughton himself has had problems. He's found Galvin though. And with Hoddle still down on the far side, here's Ardiles. And here's Mackenzie for City. Now, can they make use of the extra man? Hughton in the way. Mackenzie looking for Reeves. Gow! Good chance. Well, they had the spare man, City, and it was significant that a City midfield player got on the end of a cross, completely unmarked. Jerry Gow that was, while one of his opposite numbers, Glenn Hoddle, was out of the game completely. Hoddle's back on his feet now. This is Galvin, and Ardiles has gone down. And Tottenham players everywhere now are getting cramp, and somebody's down for Ray Ranson's down for City. This is the pitch littered with bodies here as players just run out of steam and the legs begin to tighten and cramp sets in. Well, Ardiles is going to put everybody onside unless he's careful. He's got up now. And Ranson's up as well. Roberts across. Well, could this cup final, I wonder, be settled in the end by sheer tiredness? It's certainly affecting Ozzy Ardiles. You can see it all over his face. Bennett for City. Good cross. Oh, well taken by Alexic from Paul Power, who'd come in close. A very smart piece of goalkeeping this time at the Tottenham end. David Bennett whipped that cross in. It was vicious and well taken by the man who's been nicknamed Elastic from time to time. McDonald looking for Bennett. We're in the last minute. No foul. Brooks. Well, it looks like a replay. But maybe this time for one last attack. Steve McKenzie for Manchester City. McDonald. Reeves being cut off here by Miller, who wants the ball to run. And the referee has blown. So, for the first time since 1970, and only the second time in Wembley history, the FA Cup final goes to a replay. It'll be on Thursday at 7:30 here at Wembley. It'll be the 10th replay in the 100 finals, but only the second since 1912. Joe Corrigan had an important part to play, but then who didn't? The two managers shake hands. Now, in 1970, both teams went up to the Royal Box to shake hands with the royal guest, and both teams did a lap of honour, even though there was no cup and no medals to present. And sure enough, the players making their way to the Royal Box. Paul Power leads Manchester City up first. No cup, no medals, just a handshake and a well done, and they all deserve that. Joe Corrigan's jersey matching the colours chosen today by the Queen Mother, but what significant saves the goalkeeper made. They're thanking their fans at the tunnel end. Nicky Reed, who played magnificently at the back. Steve McKenzie, Ray Ranson, who made the City goal. Tommy Caton, the youngest player in the final, did well. Tony Henry came on as substitute. Bobby McDonald, Kevin Reeves, David Bennett, Tommy Hutchison, who will never forget this match as long as he lives, Jerry Gow. And Steve Perryman leads Tottenham forward, and there are players in the Tottenham team who will do well to recover by Thursday next. So many were down with cramp and sheer exhaustion. Graham Roberts and Paul Miller there, particularly at the back, looked very, very tired in extra time when Alexic made two good saves. Steve Archibald, Roberts, who was twice injured, Villar, who was taken off, Gary Brook, who came on, Chris Houghton and Garth Crooks, and Osvaldo Ardiles at the back of the line, but not forgetting the referee, Keith Hackett, who officiated so well. And so the laps of honour, plural, will be carried out in the usual fashion. The fans will show their appreciation for a fine match, but they won't see the FA Cup carried round. Extraordinary season then for Manchester City. Relegation material in October, a blood transfusion from John Bond, safety from relegation, a League Cup semi-final, an FA Cup final which ends all square, and a replay to look forward to. And there are one or two Tottenham players now gathering caps and scarves from the fans around the side of the pitch as they come to salute their supporters. Well, you couldn't ask for two men who had a greater influence on the 100th Cup final than those two. Joe Corrigan, who made so many fine saves, Tommy Hutchison, who scored a brilliant goal, and then inadvertently deflected Glenn Hoddle's shot past Corrigan for the Tottenham equaliser.